Whoa! Something looks like it's got a paycheck coming.
It was funny. It was a new guy at the office. We had this lead come in that just wanted to rent. And everybody's kind of like looking around, you know, like, oh, who wants the rental lead? And new guy, how about you? Like, first at bat, I'm like, let's go. You know, I'm like all excited and everything. I don't even know how to unlock the lockbox. They just had like a unique situation. 2 hours of building rapport, walking around this house and doing a couple different showings with them that day. They kind of were like mentioning how they wanted just to do a short-term rental and then find something to buy. We have this program that my brokerage has partnered with that's like a rent-to-own program. They'll buy the house through you, rent it for a few months, and then they have an option to purchase it over a 12-month course. Entertain the idea with them, and they were like, oh, that's actually like perfect for our situation. The worst part was they needed a place in like 2 weeks. So the time crunch was pretty much impossible. But that same day in the morning, I was talking with one of my coworkers who was complaining how his Airbnb wasn't getting booked. It was like a little 2-bed, 2-bath. He's like, I don't have anything booked until it cools down out here. You know, didn't think anything of that. Go and meet this couple. For them to get in this house, they needed a 60-day close. I just threw it out there to him. I'm like, hey, you know, for this to work, for you guys to get this house, like you're going to need a place for a couple months. I do have a friend that has an Airbnb that's open. That's really the only way this is going to work. So we went and looked at the Airbnb. They're like, we'll take it. Everybody in the office is like, they're going to go do that program. Like they just wanted a short-term rental. What the heck? After they were fine with the Airbnb situation, pumped about the rent-to-own program, we went house hunting. We missed out on 2. And then the third one we ended up getting. So an accepted offer.
Great. When you spend the time to listen to somebody, you know, I say unpeel the onion, right? The information's all there. It's just a matter of, a lot of times real estate agents will hear, oh, hey, here's a potential customer that wants to do a short-term rental. Immediately a real estate agent thinks, oh, you know, we're not going to make any money off this, forget it. Versus somebody that's hungry and says, hey, let me help these people. Way to be a professional, man. I mean, God, that's so fantastic. I hope people like your customers that are out there, when they have an agent that does that, appreciates what you're doing. You're going way up and beyond the call of a normal agent would do, and putting all the pieces together and asking all the right questions and asking other people for help, you know, like your buddy telling you that they have an Airbnb. I mean, hey, does anybody have a short-term rental? Does anybody whatever? And all of a sudden, you put all the pieces together, and that'll make you a very successful real estate agent.
I said it's a weird concept. It's called networking. And when you network, you know, you talk to people and all of a sudden you put it together. You solved a problem. You solved an issue by figuring out, putting the different pieces together. That is a big thing. Now, I mean, a lot of us would say if a rental lead came in, nah, forget it. I'm not doing it. You're running them around. You bring it to all these places, and if you sign them up for a place, you might get a couple $100. Be able to turn it into a quicker sale, even if it was a longer sale, and you went to sold it for a year. I think that still would have been great. Being able to find that alternative too, because they must have needed money or something. Because was it Home Partners that you guys deal with?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So what Home Partners does is they come in and buy the house, and then they turn around and rent it to the person with different milestones to be able to purchase that place. But yet the realtor is the one that is representing Home Partners and gets paid.
Good question from one of our listeners. Did you wear your UNLV jersey when you were showing them the first property?
Still got that one in my toolbox. I don't want to burn all my options.
That's your parachute, right?
Hey, Cody has 2 questions he wants to get answered here for all our new agents. It would be pretty good.
The one question I had, because I was helping out with some open houses, the guy that was selling the house, the client, it was a personal situation on why he was selling, because it was a beautiful house. The people that were coming in and looking at the place were, you know, like, why are they selling? You know, is like something wrong with this house? They had a divorce. They were moving out, and like out of respect to the client, you don't really want to like air their dirty laundry out, but you also don't want the prospective home buyer to be concerned on what they're buying and, you know, oh, is there bad neighborhood, you know, whatever. How do you kind of balance those two?
Number one, it's the seller's decision, what you want to do. But what I would always suggest to them is that people are going to look at this and wonder what the heck's going on. Is it a fire sale? Is there something wrong with the house? They moved into it. Now there might be mice in there. There's something wrong. It's much better, I think, to be able to be upfront and just say, you know what, they're just going their separate ways. And then that's over. Now they can just worry about the house instead. Now, does that create some motivation? It could, but at least that whole doubt of what it is, get them to stop thinking about what could be wrong with it versus just look at the house.
Sometimes when you have a situation like that where it's a family that's changing family status, right? People do. They walk in the door, immediately say, what's wrong? Or why are they selling? And you just say, hey, family status changed, very friendly breakup, all good vibes here. Kids are loved, everybody's happy, and they're moving their separate ways. You're painting a pretty picture. And I think that that's all they really want to know. Some people are a little superstitious, like, was there a crime here? Was there, like you said, and they want to know. So when you are allowed by your seller, and I always suggest, hey, I'm doing an open house. Do you mind if I mention the following 3 things? Go ahead and initial this for me, because it's that important. Where if all of a sudden you get, hey, you caused me 50 grand because you disclosed my situation, and they believe it, they'll come after you for it. So you do want to have things in writing, what you're allowed to kind of talk or share.